Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and Dragonflight's seasonal content kickstarts next week with the opening of the new raid Vault of the Incarnates, the new Mythic Plus seasonal dungeons, as well as a brand new season for PvP, which includes the new solo queue arena mode. There's still time left to finish leveling and begin gearing your characters to make sure that they're ready to take on the first season of Dragonflight. Recently, I've been getting messages from new and returning rogues looking to hop back onto the favorite class for a brand new expansion, with many of you looking for guidance, unsure which specs should you start with to help ease you into the new content, or what talent builds should you be running in order to be more effective in groups. Currently, I plan on covering rogues in greater detail and making guides for all three playstyles. It's likely we will see even more class tuning with the release of Season 1. And I would prefer waiting to see how Rogue gets affected before making any official guides. But I still want to help out first-time rogues in Dragonflight. So in today's video, I want to put together a few builds that I would recommend to new and returning rogue players, and give you a light overview of how each rogue plays in Dragonflight. These builds have been adjusted to make you well-rounded in all types of combat encounters. But right before we dive into the rogue starter builds, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you're looking to get regular class and content updates for all the future Dragonflight builds. If you are new to Rogue and are picking it up for the first time in the expansion of Dragonflight, then I suggest starting with Assassination. Assassination rogues are deadly killers, capable of picking a target out of a crowd and focusing them down relentlessly. They have been known to deal some of the strongest single target damage in previous expansions, and their deadly nature isn't fading in this expansion anytime soon. Assassination rogues are masters of bleeds and poisons, which slowly drain your targets dry, providing excellent sustain and spread damage to multiple enemies. But the spec can also tear into their foes marked by Death Mark and unleash toxic dagger strikes, which helps burst their enemies down. It's the most straightforward spec of rogues, with a clear burst window and downtime, and a consistent rotation involving managing buffs and debuffs. First, I want to cover a beginner-friendly build of Dragon Tempered Blades, which focuses on maximizing passive damage sources by improving the output of all poisons, while becoming more alchemically proficient, learning how to coat your weapons in multiple toxins. We'll also be grabbing Amplifying Poison as the second deadly concoction to apply to our weapons. We invest points into lethal dose to weaken our targets for every poison and bleed we apply, and pick up Crimson Tempest to make this build more well-rounded against multiple targets. The biggest benefit of this build is its simplicity. It attempts to stick to the core values of Assassination, bypassing most of the advanced mechanics while maintaining relatively competitive damage. This build is excellent for world content or when tackling powerful elite enemies, and can do fairly well in grouped dungeons. Next, we have a build that's a lot more powerful but takes time getting used to. Kingsbane Carnage build is going to focus on two capstone traits. The first, a powerful poison of Kingsbane, which deals incredibly high single target damage. This poison grows in power the more often you apply your weapon's toxins to the enemy target. You will have to prioritize the uptime of Envenom and Shift to achieve its full value. Next, we have Indiscriminate Carnage, which causes your next Garrote and Rupture to apply to nearby targets, which greatly increases your AoE and cleave capabilities. This build is a lot more cooldown focused, which means you'll have a lot more to manage, but challenging yourself with a very powerful build can be very rewarding. Outlaw rogues are a wildcard pirate-themed spec, which is a natural affinity for cleave and AoE damage, while rolling the dice of fate, which helps empower various parts of their playstyle. Outlaw gains the benefits of generating combat resources quickly, while drowning in energy and combo points, but the spec requires a lot of fast-paced, real-time decision-making if you want to make an impact in combat. The Blade Flurry playstyle makes Outlaw rogues naturally good in dungeon content, capable in mostly prioritizing single target damage, which naturally transforms into cleave output. Roll the Bones is still part of the core of the spec, as the dice grant you a random assortment of combat enhancements. In Dragonflight, some of this randomness can be reined in a bit, which allows for a bit more consistency. First, we have the Outlaw Rogue starter build, focused on simple gameplay mechanics of the spec. This build will feel familiar to returning players who have experienced Outlaw previously. This build helps improve your Roll the Bones buff chances, and generates even more combat buffs regularly. If you get a bunch of buffs in a row, lock them down with Keep It Rolling to extend their value for 30 seconds longer. This playstyle also uses Fan the Hammer, which allows you to bank multiple pistol shots and unleash them at once. Be sure to spend your combo points before using up any of your opportunity charges. This build also helps expand your AoE output, so you can be more competitive in large group dungeon scenarios. Next, we have a build of Outlaw which embraces its rogue origins, emphasizing the use of stealth abilities like Ambush to fuel your damage. This build will pick up Shadow Dance and Find Weakness, and you will start using Ambush as part of your rotation to pierce past your enemy's defenses. Audacity helps fish for ambush procs, so you can strike at your target out of stealth. Multiple ambushes can strike your target at once, which helps energize you with combo points rapidly. This playstyle is very combat resource sensitive, as you don't want to overspend any of your combo points. Some players found it difficult or uncomfortable to incorporate the ability of ambush into the Outlaw Rogue basic rotation, so there's a chance you simply won't enjoy this playstyle of the build. But if you like the idea of pressing ambush as Outlaw, then this talent option offers very competitive damage in single target and AoE encounters. Subtlety rogues prioritize stealth, planning, and efficiency. They're capable of unleashing powerful strikes to any number of enemy targets at once, carefully weaving their abilities into deadly combos. The spec is perfect for rogues looking to exploit the enemy's weakness, which is incredibly well suited for those preferring PvP combat. Subtlety rogues have often been one of the more advanced specs in the game, and are generally not recommended for brand new rogue players. That being said, I wanted to give you all an opportunity to enjoy this powerful playstyle, so I simplified some of the currently popular builds to explore. The first build is a single target Shadow Dance build, which focuses on optimizing your sustained damage outside of offensive cooldowns. This build helps net out more consistency and isn't as heavy on overlapping cooldown abilities. For this build, you will want to maintain Shadow Blades, Shadow Dance, and Symbols of Death on cooldown. The more you press those abilities, the more overall damage you will do. Cooldowns like Secret Technique and Subtlety should be saved for Shadow Dance windows if you want to play this build more optimally. The next build utilizes 2 charges of Shadow Dance instead of 1. This playstyle allows you to sync cooldowns together, guaranteeing that you'll have a Shadow Dance charge to use inside of your Symbols of Death, which creates for way better burst output. This build is very cooldown reliant, and desyncing cooldown abilities will make your damage suffer, but properly lining up dance and symbols can be a rewarding experience. This build is better suited for those seeking high burst numbers over sustained output. And for now, that's going to be my most recommended builds for new and returning rogues heading into the expansion of Dragonflight. I tried to organize this video starting with the spec that's the easiest to get into, but I didn't want to hold you guys back from trying out Outlaw or Subtlety in case those playstyles suit you the best. But otherwise, I want to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Which of the rogue specs are you interested in the most as a potential main or possible ult sometime in the future? And which of the talent builds listed in this video are you looking to explore? Or do you potentially have a talent build of your own to recommend for any of the new players checking out Rogue for the first time in this expansion? If so, then feel free to recommend some of your builds and let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single live stream and video, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or discuss with the other members of the community what you think about the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.